Bengals game. How did you feel about your performance?
There's little details and assignment issues that I gotta get correct. We looked over it, we got it corrected, and now we're moving past that.
Jeudy, on that last play, did you think about lateraling the ball to Jerome Ford? It looked like on film he was kind of like trailing you on that.
I was just trying to make a play. You know, there was a lot of defenders around. I ain't know. I just try to make the catch first, then worry about everything after.
Jerry, Baltimore is a very explosive offense, and they had a ton of those explosive plays. Contrast to you guys last week, not a lot of them would get 3 plays over 20 yards. So just offensively, what do you guys have to do to, I'm not trying to say keep up with Baltimore in that regard, but to just to increase the explosiveness for your offense?
Just be detailed and fundamental, sound. Just make sure we on our details, and just that's it for real. Play our game.
Jerry, we saw what you did when you went back to Denver last year. Joe's going back to Baltimore. He spent more than a decade there. What are you expecting from him?
You said what?
Joe going back to Baltimore for the first time. He spent like a decade there. This is the first time he's going to play in Baltimore. What do you expect out of him?
As a competitor, of course, you want to be able to dominate your former team that you played for. Now that you're playing against it, you want to put your best performance in front of you, and just play his game. At the end of the day, that's all he could do.
With you and Joe, is there anything that you guys can do, or maybe that you will do this week or in the coming weeks, to get even more on the same page that you have been to this point, just in terms of watching film together, or putting your heads together, or taking notes together, or anything like that?
We just going to keep speaking on what we see on the field, keep talking about what we need to do better, and during practice, just continue getting more reps, and talk through them plays and just make sure we're on the same page.
Do you think that having to catch balls from, I think I know the answer to this, but do you think the 4-way quarterback competition in any way took away from that repping it over and over and over that you would normally get with one starting quarterback?
What you say? You think you know the answer? What's the answer?
You say you have to catch the ball from anybody and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got that right.
Jerry, what do you think has helped Joe stick around more, the big right arm or the smart up top?
I think a little bit of both. He still got a lot left in the tank. And you see that on Sunday. He'll making completion, driving the ball down the field, giving his guys opportunities. And he'll making the right reads. And I feel like, he still got a lot left. So yeah.
When you have a game like that where you might not be super happy with a couple of things that you did on your own, do you come back even way more focused the next week and determined to kind of just put that one behind you and have a great game?
Yeah, of course. That's something that don't go our way during the week. That's gonna happen every week. It's part of the game. It's football. You can't really dwell too much on it. The only thing you could do is just work towards your goals and fix the mistakes that did happen during last game and just move on. You can't have that game back. The good thing is we got next game Sunday. And prepare for that.
Jerry, Baltimore secondary, a lot of notable names back there. Just what are the challenges that presents to you guys as receiving?
No challenges.
How about the fact that you guys are 10.5-point underdogs for this game, and even though you guys really outplayed the Bengals except for that 1 point.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that you're going into Baltimore as 10.5-point underdogs?
That's disrespectful. By the end of the day, if they think Baltimore could beat us like that, we're gonna have to prove them another thing. We got to do our job and and do our best to win the game.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry.